let's continue with these examples. Number 5, we have the sum of 3 consecutive odd integers this time is 75. Find the integers. So they haven't called them numbers, they've called them integers. That's okay. I'm going to let I equal the first integer because it's the first letter of the word integer. So what would the second and third integers be? Now they are odd. So for instance, we could have 7, 9 and 11. They're all odd numbers and they're one odd number after the other. Alright, so how do we get from 7 to 9? We've got to add 2. How do we get from 9 to 11? We're adding another 2. Okay, so this second integer will be I plus 2. Then add another 2 on for the third one and you'll have I plus 4. So now we've done our let statements. We're now going to look at what they've told us. The sum of these 3 consecutive integers is 75. So let's add them up. We have I plus 2 plus I plus 4 equals 75. Now we're going to solve our equation. Collect your like terms, and we have 3i plus 6 over here. Now we want to get rid of our 6 by subtracting on the other side. And then we'll work that out. And we've got 3i equals 69. Then to get I, we're going to be dividing by 3 to get rid of the times 3. Oops, by 3. And then we'll just come up here because I'm running out of room. Just move that over a bit. And if you do that on your calculator, let's see what you get. Should end up being 23. So I equals 23, but this question asks for the integers. So our answer will be 23. What's the next odd integer? 25. What's the next one after that? 27. Okay, so there's your answer. All right, let's have a look at the next question. Number 6. David's father, Fred, is 5 times David's age. David is 8 years older than his sister, Kate. The sum of all their ages is 62. Lots of information here. What are they asking? How old is each person? So the first thing we do, let D equal David's age, let F equal Fred's age, and let K equal Kate's age. Notice I have not written let D equal David. When we do the let statements, all of these letters are representing numbers. That's what algebra is all about. Every letter represents a number. So if I say let D equal David, it makes no sense. David is not a number, he's a person. So we need to write the word age in because an age is a number. All right? People say age is only a number. It is a number. So we have to have a number word on the end there somewhere. Okay? All right, so let's get started. That's the beginning, just writing the let statements. Now we're reading the information. David's father, Fred, so Fred, is 5 times David's age. All right, so Fred's age is 5 times David's age. That's what they've told you. Or if we just shorten this a bit, F equals 5D. So they've told you that. That's one thing we know. Let's see another thing we know. David is 8 years older than Kate. So the second thing we know is that David is going to be Kate's age plus 8 years. So that's the second thing we know. Then they tell you a third thing. Third thing we know is, it's all in 3 sentences. The sum of all their ages is 62. So David plus Fred plus Kate equals 62. Now, we've ended up with 3 different equations here and we're trying to get one equation. So what can we do to get all of this into one equation with only one letter defined? So it's a bit tricky. All right, let's see what we can do here. Well, this last one involves all 3 of them, all 3 letters. So can we replace some of these letters so that we eventually only get down to one letter here? All right, let's see what we can do. Well, here for Fred, I can write, instead of writing F, I can write 5D. So I'm going to write 5D in that spot because F equals 5D, right? I'm going to leave this alone because, see, we've got already down to just one letter so far, as long as we can do something over here. All right, so what about this one? What's K going to be equal to? Now, I'm going to try and get it into letter D. Now, up here, we haven't used this yet, but it's not very helpful the way it's written. So what we're going to do is rearrange it so that K is by itself. So if I keep the K on the right-hand side and get rid of that to the other side, it'll look like that. All right? So now K can be replaced with D minus 8. All right, so I hope you can see what's happened here. It's a bit tricky. That's why I'm going through it with you on the board. All right, so what we've done is looked at the one that had all three letters in it and tried to get them all into just something with one letter only. And that's what we've done here. So you've got to use these other bits of information. Some of them will be given the way they need to be. Others might need to be rearranged like this one to get something where you can replace them with letters that are all just one letter now. So now we're going to solve this equation. Just collect these here, and we've got 7D minus 8 equals 62, and we're going to continue to solve this. You should know what to do by now with all of this. And we end up with D equals 10. So David is 10 years old. All right, so David we found, he's 10 years old. All right, now, that's one of them. We've now got to find the other people's ages. So we've got to go back now and find out how old Fred is. Now, F equals 5D, so we can put this straight in there. And Fred turns out to be 50 years old. And the other one we've got is Kate. And we can use this version of it here. All right, so I'm going to write it as, I might write it in blue so you can see where I've taken it from. So Kate is David minus 8. That'll be the quickest way to put it in. You can put it in here and just rearrange it if you want, but I'm going to put it in there. So Kate will be David's age minus 8. Kate is 2 years old. So they want to know how old they all are. David is 10 years old. Fred is 50. And Kate, the little sister, is 2. If you have time at the end of an exam, you would go back and just check that all of these statements that they made here are true for your numbers. Okay, and you'll find they are. All right, let's have a look at the last one here. Number 7. All right, Trish only collects 27 50-cent coins. Last week she counted 420 coins to the value of $156. How many 50-cent coins does Trish have? So what we're looking for is how many 50-cent coins. So I'm going to start with my let statement saying let F equal the number of 50-cent coins. Notice I haven't written let F equal 50-cent coins. All right, it's the number of coins. See how it says how many? How many is the number of coins we're looking for? Right, so we want to find the number of 50-cent coins. So that's the first thing. Now, because of what's happening up here, we do need another letter here, even though they haven't asked for it, and it's to do with those 20-cent coins, so we stay consistent. We're going to let T equal the number of 20-cent coins. Okay, now let's go back to the information and our statement number 1. Trish, yeah, we already know that. Last week she counted 420 coins to the value of $156. There's 2 things going on there. One is the number of coins. So we know that she's got 420 coins altogether. So that means that the number of 50-cent coins plus the number of 20-cent coins is 420. Okay, now the second thing we have, I'm leaving a gap here because I might need to rearrange it. The second thing we have is the value of the coins is $156. Okay, so what do we do there? Well, if you can imagine, if you had 6 50-cent coins, right, 6 50-cent coins, and we wanted to know how many dollars that was, we would multiply them and we'd change it into dollars, right? So somehow we've got to get it to there. The easiest way would be to go, well, I'm going to write that in dollars to start with and then work it out. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So if we just look at the number of 50-cent coins, we're going to have the number of 50 cents, which is written like this in dollars, times by the number of 50-cent coins, which is F, then add on 20-cent coins written in dollars, which looks like this, times by the number of 20-cent coins, and the value of all of that money is $156. Okay, so that's what they've told you. So in one sentence, they've actually given you 2 bits of information, the number of coins and the value of the coins. 2 different things. Okay, so we're just going to simplify this. I'm going to leave the dollar sign out and just simplify the decimals. So I'm going to have 0.5f plus 0.2t equals 156. All right, so we've got 2 equations now. How can we get them into one equation with one letter? All right, so we're going to come down here, because this is the more complicated looking one. I'm going to start with that and use the easy one to try and get it into here somehow. So I'm going to leave the 0.5f, I'm just moving it over a little bit, plus 0.2 times. Now, in place of t, if you come up here and rearrange it so that t is by itself, I'm going to move this to the other side and it will become that. So I'm now going to put 420 minus f in for t. Now, I know I've told you this before, but I'm going to drum it home now. If you've got more than one term, it must be in brackets. If you're not sure, put it in brackets anyway. All right, now we're going to continue with the rest of it. So now we've got one equation with only one letter, that's the letter F, and we'll go from there. All right, I'm expanding these brackets. All right, so 0.2 times 420. I'll just work this out on the calculator, make sure I don't make any mistakes. And I think we've got 0.2 times 420, 84. Minus 0.2f equals 156. All right, collect the like terms here with the f's. 0.5 minus 0.2 is 0.3f plus 84. I'm just moving this over slightly so I've got some room to move there. All right, 0.3f, get rid of your 84. What have we got there? 56 and 16, 60, 72. Right, get rid of your 0.3 by dividing by it. And then go to your calculator. So let's see what we've got. Put in your fraction key. 72 on the top, down arrow, 0.3 on the bottom. 240. And let's have a look at what we've done here. So we've ended up with f equals 240. F was the number of 50-cent coins, so we have 240 50-cent coins, which is what they wanted. Now, that's the answer to the question. Just one tip here. So if they're asking, if the number of 50-cent coins is what they're wanting, so in other words, they're wanting F, that's what we're finding. So, when you get down to this bit where you've got 2 letters, you want to get the one that's got F's in it, right? So we want to keep F's. So when you get to here, keep the F's. So in other words, you want to replace the t. So that's why we come up here and make sure that the t is by itself. All right, so this is the sort of order you're thinking. Keep the f's, replace the t, and then make sure the t is by itself when you're doing that part. It does take a bit of practice with these questions. I have done the hardest ones, the types of questions that I know are harder. So you shouldn't have too many problems when you're looking at the ones in the homework. So just remember with the coin questions to look at it like I was doing, with the age questions to look at the way I was doing those. So good luck with your homework. Let me know if there's any problems.